Hey preppers, Homestead Prepper here. What I'd like to share with y'all today is my wife's secret chili recipe. Of course, when I share it with y'all, it won't be a secret anymore. But to me, there's nothing better than homemade chili or homemade soup or anything homemade. It's great, and it's a great thing to put in your pantry. And if the crap does hit the fan, it's just going to be so much better to have some of this stuff on hand. And if you could get some other wild game to supplement this and make it last longer, it's just going to be much better. So I'll tell you what, let's get started. What we got here is we got some red kidney beans. Now you can put those in the can, or what I like to do is get a crock pot and soak them in cold water overnight, and then turn the crock pot on for about 6 hours. Now they're not going to get done, but I'm making this differently than if we were cooking it to serve it. We are making this to specifically can it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get started. Okay, so you'll see me just start dumping things in there. So I guess what we can start with is the tomato sauce. Got to have tomato sauce in there. Our tomatoes in our garden, probably going to be another week or two before they're ripe enough for us to pick them, and I'm hoping we can make our own sauce this year. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. So 2 cans of tomato sauce. You want some crushed tomatoes. These crushed tomatoes look like tomato sauce, like they got a little too crushed. That's all right. And I'm using my one of my pressure cookers here to cook all of this stuff in, because it's the biggest pot I own. And we dump another can in there. Oh, and I'm doing a double batch here. So what we usually do is we save some out for us to eat, and then we put this stuff, what's left over, we try and can it. And we'll usually share it with people, friends, Anyway, that's part of the joy of canning. Okay, that wasn't too hard. And what I've got here is some ground turkey. And y'all may find this hard to believe, but I am allergic to beef. Gives me the hives. Now, I am not allergic to grass-fed organic beef, okay? And this is only something that's come up on me recently here. So, oops, got that meat. But that grass-fed organic beef is like really expensive. Got bell pepper and 4 onions here. Man, that's about to fill up that pot. How many cans I'm going to make here? Anyway, like I said, I'll give you all the recipes for how to cook it normally. You're supposed to withhold the juice from the bean and all this stuff. But the goal today is I hope to be canning this. No, I'm not going to be cooking this per se right now. Let it cook in the jars. And you can cook it, and you can put it in the jars, and then you can cook it again for another 90 minutes. Y'all do what you want to do, but I'm just trying to show you, if you're canning, the easiest way to do it. Get this all nice and mixed up in here. And oh, you can't have chili without spices. So we're going to start off with, now this is bad stuff right here. I can put this in here if you want. Whoops. Alright, it calls for a double batch. It calls for 2 tablespoons of sugar. So those are half things right there. So 4 halves are going to equal 2. Alright. 2 tablespoons of sugar, and it calls for half a tablespoon of salt. Alright, well, you know what? I'm not going to put any salt in there right now, because when you can it, that's what you use is your thing, and I'll show you all when I do that. Put that salt in later. and calls for 2. This is going to be tricky right here, guys. Never have been good at this. My wife is good at this stuff. Okay. So, and it calls for 2 tablespoons of chili powder. So there's 1. Well, you know what? This is a double batch here, so there's 3. There's 4. There's 5. And there's 6. I'm gonna run out of chili powder. There's 7. And there's 8. Well, y'all don't need to see me mix it up and all that, so I'll continue with the canning on part 2. Homestead prepper out for right now.